Hey everybody, I'm here this week to do another pumpkin recipe. We're going to do pumpkin bread in the microwave. So, we're going to get started because it is a little bit of a longer recipe. So, get your mixing bowl. Doesn't need to be microwavable. We're going to start out with 1.5 cups, I've already measured it out, of flour. Then we need 1.5 cups of sugar. Got my good old 1/2 cup measuring cup here. Okay, that is 1.5 cups sugar. You can set our sugar off to the side. Now we need a teaspoon of salt. Okay, teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking soda. There we go. Teaspoon of baking soda. Now we need a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Keep that on hand because we're going to be using it again. Sorry if you hear football in the background. My dad just came in the house and turned up the TV. So that is our cinnamon. Now we need 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. So we're getting all those good pumpkin-y flavors into our bread. Okay, there's 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. Now we need 1/4 teaspoon. That's why these things are so handy, because like all of them on there, of ground cloves. Just 1/4 teaspoon because they can be strong. One container of this lasts you forever. Okay, there we have our cloves. Okay, so that is all of our dry ingredients. I'll just give them a little swish around. Now we're going to start on our wet ingredients. We're just going to throw them in there with it. Okay, we need 1/2 cup, got our 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. Now this recipe will make you enough pumpkin bread batter to make either 1 bundt cake or 2 loaves. Here we have a 1/2 cup of the vegetable oil. We got next a 1/3 cup of water, which I am going to go get now, and I apologize because our sink's over here. Okay, I put a 1/3 cup of water in there. Okay, now we need 2 eggs. Those to the side. Sorry, there's a lot of small ingredients in this one. Okay, so I'm going to go clean my hands because I cracked the eggs into there. And now we need 1 cup of canned pumpkin puree. As usual, I'll tell you, it's just the pumpkin, not the pumpkin pie, because we already added the spices. So we're just going to measured it out already and it doesn't come out of the measuring cup. Okay. Make sure you get all your pumpkin out of there. That's what makes the bread really good. Okay. I'm going to set my spoon to the side and get a fork, and we're just going to puncture our eggs and mix this up. Be slightly runnier batter. Nothing wrong with that. Makes it easier to split in half. And at this point, you can get your loaf pan or your bundt pan. I don't have a microwavable bundt pan, but you need a glass or ceramic loaf pan, and make sure you scrape the bottom of this because you will get little pockets of sugar and flour that want to hide. It never hurts to take your spoon, never hurts to set your fork to the side, get your spoon, and make sure you've scraped the bottom, get everything incorporated. Now this is the point where you can start baking it, or you can add some mini chocolate chips, however many you want. I just never, or some walnuts, or some pecans, or whatever sort of nut you might like in your bread. Okay, so I'm going to set this to the side here. Set this aside with my measuring cup. And I'm going to grab my loaf pan. You're going to get your loaf pan. You're going to spray it with some cooking spray so our bread doesn't stick. What I like to do to make a fun little touch, let me put the lid back on our cinnamon here. And I put a little cinnamon, dust it with a little cinnamon so it bakes right on top of our bread. So we're going to put half of the batter into our loaf pan. Just set it there. If you have two loaf pans, it'll be easier. If not, you just go ahead and eyeball it. Give it a little shake to make sure it's down in there. And this is where it gets fun because you're going to be doing this a little bit different. I forgot to get this out. You need a casserole dish. And you are going to set this upside down in your microwave. See? Upside down in your microwave. And you're going to put this on top of it. This lets the bottom bake every bit as good as the sides, middle, and top. And we're going to do this for 15 minutes at half power. I cannot stress how important it is to do it at half power. I tried to do it for a shorter amount of time at full power. It just makes your bread really chewy. So I'm going to do this for 15 minutes, and I'll see you back here shortly. But you see we're going to put time cook 1500, power level 5, start, and we'll be back here in 15 minutes. Okay, so we have about 2 minutes left on our first 15, and then we're going to check on it. You may end up having to do it 2 to 3 more minutes. It's all going to depend on how the middle of our bread looks. I recommend having a clean toothpick because we're going to test our bread. The edges are going to be done sooner than the middle, of course. The toothpick little trick is fun. You're going to just stick it down in your bread, and when it comes up, if it's nice and clean, your bread's done. If it's still got some batter sticking to it, we do it a few more minutes. At half power, of course. Okay, if you're wondering about my awesome Harley Quinn from the new Suicide Girl, from the new Suicide Squad movie, I won this shirt on a Facebook giveaway. You might remember I've worn some Sockman shirts before. He usually does the Doctor Who in the really awesome Tim Burton style, but he did this really cool shirt, and I happened to win it off a Facebook giveaway. Probably would have bought it anyway. Okay, so in a minute we are going to check on this. It is really good to have, be careful when you take it out because both the casserole dish, well the glass casserole loaf dish, is going to be warm, and so is your bread. So get hot mitts if you need them. And it's good to have when it's cold with some jam or butter on. And it's also just as good to cut a slice here when it's pretty warm. It's going to be a little more crumbly when it's warm. It's fresh baked bread. And with some butter on though. Really, really good. Okay. I knew I had hot mitts here somewhere. I'm going to bring it out and test it. Okay, I can see right away that the edges are starting to get done because they're starting to pull away. But I can tell because if I tried to tap the middle of it right now, you can see it's still a little gooey. So we're going to do this for 3 more minutes at half power. I know in your head you might be thinking, oh, I'm just going to throw it in for full power for a little bit just to save the time, but trust me, if you want a better quality of bread, you're going to wait the time. I have tested it, and since the batter makes 2 loaves, I've tried it both ways. I tried doing it exactly how you're supposed to at half power for 15 to 18 tight minutes. It turns out amazing. If I try to do it for 7 to 8 minutes at full power, it does come out very chewy. Now, honestly, it's always moister and a little bit better the second day, which helped with that chewy part a little bit. But it's still just easier to take the time and do it the full amount at half power. So we're going to check on this in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Your middle will still probably, when it's completely done, look like it's a little bit damp, but when you tap it, the batter won't stick to your fingers. It does set up and cool down. Everybody, I'm filming this on a Saturday, so I hope everybody ready for episode 2 of the new Doctor Who season. Wasn't episode 1 a trip? It was very good, but it was so busy you didn't have a moment to breathe, and we'll see how it goes tonight. I'm excited. I'm always excited. Yeah, I guess I'm doubly excited. Or tripling? I don't know what you'd say. That they finally officially announced that Clara's leaving. It's not so much Jenna Coleman. Good actress. I'm not going to say anything against her. But that character is about way overdue to be gone. Way overdue to be gone. Somebody told me that everything she's been doing was meant to be split between 2 or 3 female companions. But you know how Clara, it seems like she's the origin of everything? Well, Moffat's in love with her, of course. But that would not surprise me if that was true, that it was supposed to be 2 or 3 companions, and, well, yeah, he just decided to make it all one. You're just hoping Osgood comes back somehow and gets to be the next companion. I mean, come on, she would be the perfect companion. Harken back to the classic days of good, fun adventure. Okay. Now we only have like 13 seconds. When I get going on a Doctor Who tangent, there's really no stopping me sometimes. Okay. Us. Remove a bread. That looks amazing. Let me get my toothpick. Perfect. 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 Okay, our bread is done. Now, if you have to do yours for another minute or 2 half power, feel free to. Nothing wrong with that. Because, as I've said almost every time, every microwave can be a little bit different. So. Slice. Look at that. Sliced bread. Okay. Ooh, let me get a fork and get this out. Removing the first piece, I don't care if it's cake. I don't care if it's pie. I don't care if it's a loaf of pumpkin bread. Removing the first piece is always the hardest part. Because it's warm. Let me get my plate up here. It's warm. It's a little bit crumbly because, like, duh, it's fresh baked. As I told you, it is going to fall apart just a little bit because I just fresh baked it. Get a little bit of butter on there. Careful, because this is really hot, since I did just take it out. Seriously, it is so good. The mini chocolate chips that I added, just add that nice little chocolate sweet to your pumpkin bread. So go ahead, go try this. Let me know how it goes, and stay tuned to next week for our last pumpkin recipe of the season. I know it's sad, but hey, we gotta save some for next year. So, thank you. Share me with your friends.